Hi, I'm Scott Mason. Welcome to AGLIFE.
Hi, buddy. Camera.
Hi, John. A lot of people don't know you're a veterinarian. Your wife's a veterinarian. Your dad's a veterinarian. Your sister's a veterinarian. So that's a bloodline, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
Dad's done a pretty good job putting our profession in a good light. Two of his 3 children went on to be veterinarians. And I married a veterinarian, so obviously I think it's a good profession.
So of the 4, who's the best veterinarian of the group?
It's my wife. She's obviously
Great answer.
the best.
Great answer.
She's the smartest too. She doesn't work all day, every day like the rest of us do.
I know there's no such thing as a normal day, but can you take us through your routine?
Sure. In a perfect world, I get up around 6 o'clock and grab a shower and a cup of coffee before Joseph wakes up. Makes me a much better mom, makes me a much nicer person. That doesn't always happen. He goes down for his naps, usually around noon, and that's when I really try to get some work done.
I know your passion is education, and in doing that, you run a couple websites. Can you tell us about those a little bit?
Sure, so I run 2 at home here personally. One is called Alarm Clock Wars. That's the one I started first. That's a little more personal story. Right now it's focused a lot on stuff that's coming out of the garden. So I just wrote an article about canning your own tomato salsa and how to make it good and chunky. I call it Family, Food, and Farming One Morning at a Time. Agricultured is my second one. It's Agricultured, and that is, I want that website to be the place where people who eat get their food questions answered. There's a lot of misinformation about food and farming right now. It's really hard to find the information that's true. So I want to be one more resource that's got the good information, hopefully that people can trust.
I had one that would fit you.
Camera.
So you marry a farm girl? Is she a farm girl?
She is not a farm girl.
I've refused. We've been married for 6 years. I've been living on the farm for 6 years. I have yet to learn how to drive a tractor. That's because I know that if I learn how to drive a tractor, he's gonna make me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go ted the hay. Nobody likes me at 5 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so we're gonna learn how to drive this tractor.
Awesome.
It's easy.
Okay.
It's just like driving a stick shift car. Can you do that?
Nope.
Okay, well, then we have a problem.
I know. There's no pressure though. I don't even know how to get on this one. It doesn't stop with just the brakes. Everybody look out. Here it comes. Where am I going? I want to go home. Tractor driven.
Tractor driven.
Can I check that farm girl box now?
No, you gotta do it more.
Oh well, no one died.
So you're now a certified tractor driver, trainer, right?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but sure, yeah, absolutely. Certified tractor driver trainer. Let's bring it.
The tractor's still in one piece, no scratches, so. And she passed the test.
Woohoo!
Tomorrow, we got hay to rake.
No. Calf, calf! Come on up, calf, calf!
Cap, cap.
Come on, calf!
Here they come.
Come on! Moo, that's right. Bottle, yeah, he wants his bottle. Oh, there he comes.
Did he tickle you? You pet him. That was nice.
You know, we talked about your passion for what you do. Now we're going to talk about compassion. Now, this little calf here had lost its mama, is that right?
That's right. His mama died actually giving birth to him, so we've raised him on a bottle since about mid-March. And unless you really care about the animals and have a lot of compassion for them, and you're not out here 3 times a day, every day, for 5 months. If a calf loses its mom, sometimes another cow in the herd will sort of adopt it and take it on. It doesn't always happen. It really just depends on the cows, and it depends on the calf. And this is part of what I want him to learn, that I want him to know where his food comes from. I want him to know how much farmers care about the animals that they raise. Come here. Hi. Mwah. And gosh, he just loves every single animal that he comes across.
So what's your hope for Joseph as a farmer on these days?
Well, John and I have always said that he can be whatever he wants to be as long as it's not an IU grad.
Oh.
Sorry, we're a Purdue family. All those vets in the family, we gotta
all
boiler
the vets,
up.
there's a pretty good odds that he might be that one of these days.
And, you know, if that's what he wants to do, then we would support him every step of the way. But if he wants to take a different path, then that's just fine too.
I think that we've learned today that the role of a woman in farming has evolved tremendously in the last several years and is an important component of a functioning farm.
Absolutely. There's more and more women that have a major role in the running, the day-to-day operations and the management of a farm. And there's lots of women now that are actually running an entire farm on their own without any help. That's one of the reasons that I am running for second vice president for Indiana Farm Bureau. I want to be able to empower women to take on as much of a leadership role as they want. Whether that means taking over the running of the whole farm from their father-in-law who's getting ready to retire, or if that means they just want to have the courage and the knowledge to be able to pick up that phone and make a phone call to their senator or representative to talk about an issue that's important to them. But I think that women in leadership roles, as big or as small as they want that to be, that's the future of farming for us. You gonna give it back to Scott? Yeah, that was not, whoa!
Back at you.
I can't imagine my life anywhere else, and I can't imagine doing anything else than what I'm doing.
Be sure to tune in to future AGLIFE episodes as we feature lady farmers and how they shape the agriculture community.
So I'm sure, like me, you've been going to the farmer's market a lot lately and picking up fruits and vegetables. It's the perfect time in the season that everything is crisp and ready. And if you're like me, I usually walk up and down and find the same thing every time and go home and cook nearly the same recipe. My name is Camille Lambert. I'm here today with Amanda Hardy at the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service, and Amanda's here to show me how to prepare a new recipe.
So one of the recipes we're going to do today is our zippy zucchini cakes.
I can't wait.
They're very similar to what you would call like a potato cake,
Yeah.
but you're adding that zucchini in there. So let's get started. First thing is you pick your zucchini. Now the larger zucchini tend to have larger seeds, which means you can still prepare with it. Now what I normally do when I'm preparing, this is a good size, these are great sizes, but if you do buy the larger ones, you can pull those seeds out with just a spoon, just scrape them out.
Okay.
So we're not going to have to do that today because we've got the smaller seeds. So basically what you want to do is just shred, and you want to make sure, Camille, that you're getting 2 cups of zucchini. So from there, we are going to take our eggs.
Eggs, okay, so where'd you get the eggs?
I got these at the farmer's market.
That is wonderful. You can
So-
pretty much find anything you need at our farmer's market.
So one of the key things to cracking an egg is that you don't go ahead and put it in your bowl with your other ingredients.
Yes.
Why? Because you don't want the shell.
I've done that so many times. I'm cooking cookies at home and I crack it right in, and then you have to pick out the
Yes,
egg.
and it's hard to have to go through
It
there and
is.
pick out. So this way it allows you to have a separate bowl where you can spoon it out if you get a shell in there. So what we suggest is using the flat edge of a butter knife.
Huh, I've never seen this.
Yes, and so you want to crack it and then you want to crack it towards the top.
Yeah.
Hold it and then let it slide in there. So what we're gonna do, because we already have this egg ready, we're gonna pour it into a separate bowl, because like I said, you don't wanna get too much in that bowl and then have to pick shells. So it calls for 2 eggs. So we're gonna go on and do that again.
Yeah, and I believe 1 egg yolk.
Yes.
Or egg white.
Right. Egg white, yes. The yolk is the yellow part. The whites are the surrounding. Okay, so we've got our 2 eggs. So if you want to go on and pour that into the bowl.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to show you how to get the whites out of these, because a lot of people will say, well, how do I get white out of the egg and keep the yolk out? Very easy if you're doing it in a bowl, because if you have to and it all dumps in there, you can take a spoon and just dish the yellow out. So if you can tell, I'm just holding this yellow in there, the yellow part of it. So we're not going to use
sifting it out.
Yes, and so of course I didn't get anything in there. We'll pour it in that, and you can pour it in that bowl.
All right.
The next thing we're gonna do, because we've got our 3 ingredients in there so far, we're now gonna add some milk, and this is just skim milk, and it calls for a 4.
So it's a healthier version.
It is a healthier version, so we're just gonna pour it into our cup, and you wanna get eye level to make sure that you can see that it is right at 1/4.
Perfect. You don't want it to be too runny.
Exactly.
Quick ag fact is dairy cows weigh about 1,400 pounds, and they eat 50 pounds of food in a day, and they drink 30 to 50 gallons of water. That's the size of a bathtub. Just funny, I'm more Aggie than Cookie.
The next thing is a tablespoon of olive oil.
So do you prefer to use olive oil?
I prefer to use olive oil. Olive oil is the healthier version. So
I've been using a lot of canola oil lately. We have a lot of canola being produced in the state now. Olive oil is a lot healthier than the vegetable oil.
Olive oil and canola oil is a great choice.
It is.
You would want to buy canola oil over the other oils, actually, besides the olive oil. Another good option is coconut oil. So we're taking a tablespoon of olive oil to this.
I hope you don't dump the whole thing in.
I know, right? I've done that before. And then, so as you're stirring that, we're going to take a 1/3 cup of flour and dump that in there. You've got to have something to stick it together and make it more cakey. And then we're also, because we're choosing the healthier option, we're going to use a 1/3 cup of the whole wheat flour.
Great, great. And especially we have a lot of grain producers in the area, so they like to see the whole wheat version. It's healthier, but it's also, you know, it goes back into the farmer. The all-purpose flour, you know, that's still wheat, but you know, this is the healthier version.
Okay, so we're also adding
cornmeal.
We're going to do the cornmeal, and I don't know if this is pre-measured, so I'm going to make sure. So I'm taking, I don't have a 2/3 cup that it calls for, so what I do with my measurement, I add in 2 1/3 cups.
Exactly.
And it looks like it is pretty measured correctly. Okay, so we've got
this is already looking good.
Oh, it's delicious. This is one of our favorites. Okay. So we've got all the flour and the cornmeal. Now, you know, of course, we've got to make it a little cheesy.
Everything is better with cheese.
Everything. So we're adding in a cup of mozzarella cheese.
Okay.
And then we are adding in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of dill. And those are already pre-measured.
The dill gives it some good seasoning.
The dill gives it a great seasoning, yes. And it's not a whole lot of salt and a whole lot of pepper. So once we go to that, this is the product that Camille is stirring, what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do from here is we've got our skillet going.
Okay, so is it hot?
It should be hot.
Good
and we
deal.
put a little bit of olive oil down in the bottom just to keep it from sticking. But basically you're just going to take a spoonful. And you're just going to put it in the skillet.
This is so quick. I could do this after I get home from work and have a quick, easy meal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's good for you.
Yeah. All right, let's get one of these things out and try it. I can't wait any longer.
Don't they look good?
They look so good.
Okay, let's see. Try one,
Right.
see if I can get it off of here.
I got my weapon ready. So this was so quick and easy.
It was. What did it take us? Maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Very good.
That is excellent.
You can find this recipe on our website, or you can find it on our Plated Up website under the Kentucky Proud Foods.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll be back with more Ag Life.
Have you ever been driving around the tri-state and looked up at the barns and seen a big quilt up on there? We're going to learn what that's all about today, talking with Paula Key. How you doing, Paula?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Great, great. Paula, this started out as a labor of love to kind of bring the county together, is that right?
Yes, it is. We've always been east, south, and north Gibson, and it just seemed like we needed to come together. We've had a bicentennial year in 13, and it just was something I thought was fitting, and it just took off.
And your goal when you started this was to have how many?
50, and I've made a lot. There's been a lot of other women that's made a lot of them. But people individually have made their own and put them on barns, and whether they love quilts or not, their grandma or their mother has made them in the past, and they've kind of took a pattern from those quilts and put them up on their barns, and so it's kind of historical all the way around.
Okay, now Paula, these aren't actually quilts. Tell us what they are.
They're just a block that's out of a whole quilt usually, and people have just pulled a pattern out of their quilt and put that pattern up on the building.
And this was kind of spun also from you seeing some of these quilts in the Kentucky area, is that correct?
Yes, Kentucky and Illinois, that's where I've traveled the most. Ohio, I know, has had them, and that's really where we feel like they've started. But yes, in other areas around this community.
And how many would you say you have?
From 250 to 300, I know. We've got our brochure, but it's not near got all of them on there, and people just haven't written in and told us that they have theirs up on their building is what it is.
We have a really nice, colorful brochure that just flies off the shelf. We've reprinted it every year, printed more copies of that than anything we've ever done before. So people really appreciate the brochure that has icons of all the blocks that we have on the trail, shows where they're located and gives the name of each block. So that's been really popular. Plus we get calls continually about people wanting to come and see the trail, see all the blocks, and just learn more about it. And we also ask people to include why they selected that particular pattern, and that's really one of the most fascinating parts of our trail, because people have some interesting stories about what this block means to them, or why they selected these colors, or why they put it where they did. So that's really kind of the most interesting part of the trail.
If you're a farmer and you'd like a quilt like this featured on your barn, contact the Gibson County Visitor and Tourism Bureau. They'll be glad to help. And we'll be right back with more AgLife right after this. Hi, I'm Scott Mason, host of AgLife. We hope you enjoy watching the show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Now we want to make it even better for you. Write us at aglife@tristatehomepage.com. Tell us what you would like to see on future episodes of the show. We'll see you next week on AgLife.